William Samoei Ruto's journey is the quintessential rags-to-riches story. From the dusty roads of Sugoi, where he sold chickens to truck drivers, Ruto built his hustler identity, a brand that resonated with millions of Kenyans. He wasn't born into privilege, he was an outsider, a man of the people, challenging the entrenched political dynasties. This narrative of hope and grit became his greatest political asset. Ruto's rise was rapid, from student leader to MP, minister, and deputy president. He used his humble beginnings to draw a sharp contrast with his elite rivals, framing every election as a battle between hustlers and dynasties. This simple, powerful message cut through complex policy debates and gave voters a clear choice. It was a calculated strategy, and it worked, propelling him all the way to the presidency in 2022. But behind the hustler story was a master of political maneuvering, alliances, and ambition. Ruto's journey from Sugoi to State House is a testament to the power of narrative in Kenyan politics. His story is both inspiration and warning. In Kenya, the right story can take you anywhere. Ruto's real entry into politics came with Youth for KANU, 92, a notorious lobby group formed to secure President Moi's re-election. As a young university graduate, Ruto learned the art of political mobilization and the power of money in elections. YK-92 was infamous for its lavish spending and allegations of state-sponsored violence and financial impropriety. Ruto's involvement gave him access to the inner circle of power and a reputation as a shrewd operator. The group's tactics were controversial, but for Ruto it was a launchpad. He built networks, learned to reward loyalty, and saw firsthand how the system worked. Though YK-92 was disbanded, its legacy, and the suspicions it created, followed Ruto for years. Critics saw this as the start of a pattern, a willingness to do whatever it took to win. Supporters called it political savvy. Either way, Ruto emerged from YK-92 as a force to be reckoned with. His hustler image was forged in the crucible of real politic, and the lessons he learned would shape his entire career. The 2007 election plunged Kenya into chaos, with ethnic violence leaving over 1,300 dead. Ruto, then a key opposition leader, was accused of orchestrating attacks in the Rift Valley. The International Criminal Court charged him with crimes against humanity. The trial was marred by witness tampering and political interference, leading to a mistrial in 2016. Ruto's supporters saw vindication, critics saw a failure of justice. The ICC shadow never fully disappeared, haunting his legacy. For many, the events of 2007 remain a stark reminder of the price of power. Ruto survived, but the scars on Kenya and his reputation endure. In 2013, Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, former rivals, joined forces, both facing ICC charges. Their Jubilee alliance promised unity and peace, winning the election and governing together for 2 terms. But the alliance fractured after the 2018 handshake between Uhuru and Raila Odinga, sidelining Ruto. Ruto opposed the Building Bridges initiative, seeing it as a threat to his presidential ambitions. The fallout was public and bitter, splitting Jubilee into warring factions. Ruto claimed betrayal by the political elite and formed the United Democratic Alliance. He positioned himself as the victim of a deep state conspiracy. The stage was set for a dramatic showdown in 2022. The alliance that once symbolized reconciliation became a cautionary tale of political convenience. In Kenyan politics, friends and enemies can change overnight. Ruto's hustler image clashed with his growing wealth: land, hotels, even helicopters. The Westin Hotel scandal, built on public land, became a symbol of alleged land grabbing. Ruto admitted irregularities but claimed innocence, offering to compensate the government. Allegations of corruption and questionable deals dogged his career, though he was never convicted. Supporters called the accusations political smears. Critics saw a pattern of impunity. The Kemsa COVID-19 scandal involving his allies further tainted his anti-corruption stance. Ruto's silence during the scandal raised questions about his commitment to fighting graft. The hustler narrative was powerful, but the paradox of wealth and controversy was impossible to ignore. In the end, Ruto's greatest strength became his greatest vulnerability. Ruto's 2022 campaign promised a bottom-up economy for the hustler nation. He vowed to lower the cost of living and create jobs, winning over millions. But after taking office, new taxes and rising costs hit Kenyans hard. Disillusionment grew as promises went unfulfilled. In June 2024, Gen Z-led protests erupted against the finance bill, mobilized through social media. The government's harsh crackdown left dozens dead and parliament stormed. Ruto's hardline response fueled public anger and deepened the crisis. Kenya now faces economic hardship and a crisis of trust. The hustler who promised change is seen by many as out of touch. The 2024 protests marked a turning point. Ruto's presidency is on trial. His legacy will depend on whether he can bridge the gulf between promise and reality.